What's up, everybody? Leon Edwards is heading down a rocky road. All right, that was really stupid. Let's get to it. In all seriousness, Leon Edwards is heading down a road, guys, that I am really concerned for Leon Edwards. And here's what I mean. Leon Edwards is a fantastic fighter, right? There's no denying Leon Edwards' ability. First of all, his grappling has improved tremendously. He's an incredibly hard guy to take down. His striking is outstanding. We know all those things. I'm not so much talking about the fighter, Leon Edwards. I'm talking about some of the antics that are going on with him and his coach, right? I made a video a little while ago talking about Duck Edwards in terms of Leon Edwards and his team kind of ducking this Belal Muhammad fight, trying to kind of strategically pick matchups, not crediting the right guys that are next for the title in line. And I got to be honest, guys, Leon Edwards is not a superstar. He's not a superstar, which we really shouldn't be arguing about that, right? I feel like we can all here, if you're watching this video, we can all agree that Leon Edwards is not a superstar. As much as we think Leon Edwards is a fantastic fighter, Leon Edwards' his past couple fights, man, outside of that head kick to Kamaru Usman where he was getting dominated. All right, let's be honest with what that was there. Then he comes out in the Kamaru Usman trilogy fight. He looks sensational. And then he comes out there in the Colby Covington fight where people are sitting there saying that they're bashing Leon, saying that, you should have finished this guy. Everything that he said about your dad and all these different things, I'm not going to go that far. I think Leon Edwards is a very technical fighter. At the end of the day, he's heading down the wrong road. And what I mean by that, there's a guy at 155 pounds that's been kind of calling for Leon's name that I think the UFC is going to utilize as a hitman. And what I mean by that is I think Islam Makhachev at some point, if Leon Edwards keeps fucking around, Islam Makhachev is going to be the hitman for the UFC, and they are going to send that guy up there to take out Leon Edwards if Leon Edwards continues to act a fool, him and his team. And what I mean by this is if Leon Edwards is going to keep going in there, if he's going to not necessarily be exciting, and I'm not here to criticize Leon Edwards for his performances because I've always said, if you're the challenger, it is your job to go after the champion and take that title off of their shoulders, which is that Colby Covington did not show up to fight. Colby Covington fought rather scared. He fought very reserved in that fight. Now, did he break his foot and all that? Who knows, man? I'm not here to do that whole thing. But if Leon Edwards wants to continue down this road where he does not drive a big fan base behind him, he is not going to be exciting. He is not going to draw, per se. They are going to send Islam Makhachev up to 170 pounds in the hopes to take out Leon Edwards. And now, although I think Leon Edwards matches up really well against Islam Makhachev, it's really hard to deny that Islam Makhachev is not, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the sport, which we know he is. He is ranked at that level. That fight down the line, I think, is something that the UFC is going to entertain. However, it is not until, I think they're giving Leon Edwards one more shot. I really think that Leon Edwards is on thin ice with the UFC, and this may be a very unpopular opinion that I'm displaying in this video. And guys, I'm not taking anything away from Leon Edwards as a fighter. I think he's sensational. I think that he has outstanding striking. His grappling has came a long way to where he's taken down Usman and Covington. Who really saw that coming? But at the end of the day, Leon Edwards, keep fucking around, man. Keep ducking people. Keep discrediting people. Keep trying to cherry pick your fights as the title holder, and I get it. Like, I completely get it. If I had the belt, man, I would want the best stylistic matchups for me too. I'd want to keep making money. I'd want to sit on the throne. I'd want to, this and that. But at the end of the day, like, let's be honest, guys. Did you watch UFC 170 or not 170? It was at 170 pounds. Did you watch UFC 296 to watch Leon Edwards? Did you? Now, I know that there's a lot of us out there, right? We want to see the technicalities of Leon Edwards. We want to see this and that. But what really got you interested in watching UFC 296? Feel free to comment below. But I really doubt that it was Leon Edwards defending his title. I think it had a lot to do with the BS that Colby Covington brings to the table. I think it had something to do with the other fights that were on the card. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Leon Edwards, man. I think Leon Edwards is a great fighter. I think he's outstanding. I'm just saying, him and his team, his coach, are heading down a really rocky road here. Pun intended again, I guess. If Leon Edwards is going to continue to do these types of things, Now, Leon Edwards can, of course, the UFC can host an event in the UK and people are going to back this guy up. Leon Edwards has done a great job getting to the title. He has done a great job of beating top flight competition. This has nothing to do with his abilities. It has to do with his marketability. And people are going to want to discredit a guy like Islam Makhachev. They're going to want to discredit the Habib Nurmagomedovs of the world. And guys, I'll be the first person to tell you, I know a lot of you mother effers on my channel tell me that I look like these fools. I shouldn't say fools, that I look like these dudes. But at the end of the day, like, their fighting style is not my favorite. It's not my cup of tea. But at the end of the day, there's no denying that these guys are unbelievable at what they do. The Sambo backgrounds, Islam striking is way better than Khabib. I've said that Islam is better than Khabib. But at the end of the day, those guys are really marketable. They are really marketable because although in the U.S. they may not be, the most fan-friendly fighter, the other parts of the world are all behind these dudes, man. And if you don't believe me, check the following on social media. Check the numbers whenever the fight, whenever the embeddeds are going up, whenever the UFC is putting those guys in the limelight, using them as the image for the thumbnail. They're marketable. And when does the UFC usually like to do these not cross promotions, but send guys up a weight class to go take a belt off of somebody or someone down to take a belt off somebody? Yes, there are times that they do it, like the case where it's like best versus best. Volkanovski, go fight Islam Makhachev. But for the most part, what is it? It's Jan Blachowicz wins the UFC light heavyweight title and people are like, oh, the UFC is like, listen, Jan's a nice guy. He's from Poland. We like him. But wouldn't it be a lot more exciting if Israel Adesanya held that belt? Izzy, go up there and beat this guy. And then it doesn't happen. And then it's like, okay, well, Jan won. And it's like, all right, well, what do we do here? Well, so sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Well, then what do? They send Poatan Pereira up to 205, which I've said numerous times. He was going to make 205 exciting again, which he has. They sent him up. They give him some pretty good matchups, right? I mean, Jan Blachowicz is not the easiest fight, but they did it in Utah, assuming Jan was probably going to want to grapple Poatan a lot. He was going to get tired because of the altitude. All sorts of things. The UFC will take care of those guys to do what they can to get someone the best opportunity to win the belt, which we've seen with Sean O'Malley fighting Aljamain Sterling, making Sterling do a quick turnaround. We've seen sending Dillashaw down to try to beat Henry Cejudo. Like, we've seen the different things that the UFC will do. I'm just saying, if Leon Edwards keeps messing around, man, it will not surprise me. I think that they might do this fight in the near future regardless, but really, I don't know how pleased the UFC is with Leon Edwards. I could be dead wrong. But at the end of the day, were people really, really tuning in to see Leon Edwards against Colby Covington just to see the technicalities of Leon Edwards? Maybe. As a fan, I am. I'm tuning in to see that kind of thing. I picked Leon Edwards to beat up on Colby Covington. I made a video saying Leon Edwards would beat the brakes off Colby Covington in terms of the fight playing out pretty much exactly how I predicted it to play. But at the end of the day, Islam Makhachev is kind of that guy that I think the UFC is going to look towards. Like, if Leon, man, if he keeps doing this, where it's like we're not going to get the right matchups, he's going to kind of sit on the sidelines and wait around and, try to play hardball here. Don't be surprised if the UFC sends a bad matchup up towards Leon Edwards in the name of Islam Makhachev to go for double champ status. Now, I still think Leon Edwards is a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev, but at the end of the day, it's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. What do you all think? Do you guys think that I'm being a little overkill here? Do you agree with me? Like, subscribe, comment your opinion below. Appreciate you all. See you in the next one.